Good morning. Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. And you are tuned in to No Doubt Drive Safe Day. And what the heck? What are you doing?
Smiling.
Wow, dude. That is creeper smiling. You know what? Hey, for those of you left on the show right now that didn't just say, you know what, I'm out of here, we do want to welcome in Drive Safe Dave. When I say the safest station in the nation, dude, that still kind of freaked me out.
Why?
Tell us what that means to you, Drive Safe Dave.
Which one, the smile or the safest station in the nation?
Whatever you want to do, sir. This is your show.
Safest station in the nation is us right here making a difference in the industry today of bringing you the word of safety and how we can make it better.
And it's a news story that just came out. It's a $730 million Texas awarded in a jury again on a fatality.
Yeah, the tort claim of the for the big overdimensional load that had an accident on a narrow bridge and killed a lady on the bridge. That was what an award.
Yeah, and it's one of the largest in the country, not just Texas, but in the country as we did this. And for those of you that don't know about this right here it is right here. The award goes to the family of a 73-year-old woman who was killed back in 2016. The truck, it was hauled by Landstar Ranger. You had the escort service as well. It happened in Titus County, Texas, over there close to near Mount Pleasant. There was escorts in the front and the back, and these are the escorts that we see those escorts out driving these trucks. And I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like they get the respect that they deserve. I think they become almost more of a nuisance than what's in between them, right? And we don't give them the value that they deserve as well. Okay, here we go. So the truck was going northbound with the escort service. The lady was driving southbound. She crosses over to the bridge in which he's already in her lane, right? He's in her lane. He swerves out of the way. She hits the propeller, a nuclear propeller, instantly killed. Landstar settles for $50 million, I believe, a week before the jury selection. The rear escort settles for $1 million, and then they go to court. And this is what comes out. The rest was, here we go. It was the verdict was $480 million in compensatory damages.
They're not respected on the road, and some people don't even know really what they do and their role.
And that's my point there. I think we as a country, we as educators, part of BCB Live, is to educate those out there that aren't familiar with trucking, that aren't familiar, because we know what that means. We know when we see those. Our listeners understand, but what about the others? How many kids in high school know what that means? How many, how you just say, what's going on there? Just, man, let me get out of their way and keep going down that bridge. How many people know? And I just think when it comes to anytime we see, anytime we have an opportunity to learn, okay, and that can protect life, we've got to start at the root, right? We got to start with the kids that are coming out of the class. Make sure they understand what it is. We can put a few commercials out there. We've got to do our part to help educate this world on all these things in trucking because there's so much that goes on.
Also, we want to make sure, and I'll tell you this, we want in our heart of hearts for you to get passionate about safety. Did you bring it right here inside and understand?
Hold on, Dave, but and I agree with what you're saying. And their passion isn't just to say, you got to watch BCB Live.
No.
You got to have your own passion because
Correct.
I do believe this, Dave. If I have a fleet of drivers, if I have, I'm going to get most of them to watch this show when they can.
Right,
because I as well am going to have that passion. If you're doing it to just check the box, well, you got to watch it. Check. You know what? Maybe they're paying you. Maybe they're not paying you. Who knows? But it's not just to check the box. You, even if they don't watch this and you're a dispatcher, you're a driver, whatever your form is, you still have accountability to that driver to talk to him or her about safety. It's not Drive Safe Day's job.
It's not. No, I'll tell you.
It is not your job.
I'll tell you.
You're going to get people excited about it. You're going to show them where the rest area is.
I am going to show them where the rest area is.
Yeah, and when we talk about the freight, though, some of the things that come to my mind, and let's just throw Houston there, right? We can talk for a second, producer, if we can. We're going to talk a second about the Texas Triangle. And those of you, if you're unfamiliar, that's Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, back up. That's what makes up that Texas Triangle. Now, Drive Safe Dave, when we talk about Freight Alley, when we talk about all the manufacturing that's going to go on, I just took yesterday, Monday, synopsis of what the balance looks like today. And when I talk about balance, that's the amount of loads to trucks. And we've known from many episodes on the show is that Dallas will have a big upside of a lot more freight than it has trucks. However, Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, they are so negative. There's so many more trucks down there than there are freight. Now, just go with me for a second, because as we begin to build up more freight in San Antonio and Austin specifically, understand it's going to consume even more tractors going inbound. Inbound, and Dallas, you know, it's going to have to really get a lot of freight out of here. I'm going to tell you this, Dallas rates coming up when all this happens, those rates are going to plummet because there's going to be a lot too many trucks. Not in Dallas. People are saying, come on, there's 200 more loads a day out of Dallas than there are trucks. Don't forget this, that today there's 70 more loads than there were trucks. San Antonio, Fort Worth, Austin, 35 less trucks, you know, or too many trucks. 45 too many trucks, 56 too many trucks, and back there in the yellow, which I think is San Antonio or Austin as well, that's like another 40. All of these trucks, and this is just going to keep increasing, meaning going down. These negatives are going to get larger in San Antonio, right, Drive? Because we've got to build these factories. All these trucks are going to go into there. It's going to make it so many trucks there that they're just going to have to keep coming up to Dallas to get the freight. If you're a shipper out of Dallas, you should be excited right now because you could expect a decrease in rates maybe in 2 years. It's not going to happen today. Don't start budgeting, changing your budget around, but know that the rates out of Dallas are going to have to go down because Houston, San Antonio, Austin, they are just going to consume. And then once they begin to produce, that will change it around.
It'll turn around.
Right? It'll change around. But just know that coming up soon, you know, you will have some benefit out of Dallas as these trucks go in. And I'm going to say this, if you're a trucking company, you're shipping in, you're getting good rates into San Antonio, Austin, Houston, whatever that is, you're going to have to charge more to go in there.
Driver did a good job. You just got to back off. But watch this. Going pretty good. Uphill, you cannot see what's going on. You have an intersection sign there, I think. And here's a big cattle hauler truck, right? Passing on an incline. Man, just dangerous.
It's not, we've all seen that happen a time or two out there. The bull haulers.
And it's like, you know what, when you see this, oh, it's a bull. It's almost like it doesn't even bother you, right? Because it's a bull hauler. But it's not right whether you're a bull hauler, drive and reefer carrier, vehicle.
First of all, can I just say I wasn't shocked. We're not really shocked by this move here, but really understand
back in the day. Let's be honest. Back in the day, the bull haulers did this, and that's what they were known for, right? They were above the law.
Absolutely.
And it's not necessarily the case. They still don't follow the same rules that we follow, right? However, you know what? There's a lot of safety in here. And then this right here, drive safe. If somebody's coming the other way, there's a fatality that happens at all. You, your company, everything, that driver, you're done. Your history, you're in jail.
Yeah, you know, and so you'll notice that it has a no passing zone. And let me tell you, the difficulty is that there's not always a no passing coming the other direction. And if somebody is passing coming the other direction, it makes it such a precarious situation when you've got all the road covered up going both directions, and that's when you can enter into these difficult situations. But doesn't matter if this is the case, and he's going pretty fast, but I suggest that if you encounter this situation and you're being passed like this in a precarious situation, absolutely back off. Get off the throttle. I don't know if
that's what happened on here or not. It looks like at some point, either that hill became too big or we slowed down. This vehicle here slowed down. But agree 100% drive safe, Dave. If you find yourself in the same situation,
back off.
Slow down, be the bigger person, allow the safe passage on both sides of the road. Just
Let him get back
Yeah,
over.
let him get in ahead of you and let him do his thing.
Yeah, and this driver does slow down. If there's anything to learn, we always talk about how can we be better. And it maybe would have been, hey, you're looking in the mirrors, you see this guy out there, slow it down then. Right here, you can see that it does slow down a little bit there. But again, slow down earlier when you see this guy coming up on this. What amazes me here, this is in Kansas. I didn't think there were any small hills in Kansas.
Oh, they're rolling.
Flat.
Oh, no, they're rolling out there.
But yeah. And then here, man, oh man, driver does slow. You can see it coming right there in the mirror on the shoulder, right? And what it looks like in the video, and it's hard to tell, what it looks like in the video, by this driver slowing down, that truck actually slowed down a little bit in the left lane as well. We talk all the time how you can control traffic, and maybe that truck's seen it too, but right here, you can see that truck was passing pretty good. And then
drive safe, Dave?
That can't be.
No toolbox on the back of it, Sir Rick.
But great job by this driver, taking as much speed out of the equation as you possibly can. And this next one, man, you just showed the fatality accident verdict at a bridge, right? Here's one of those small little creek overpasses, and there goes a car passing. We can't pick when these people are going to do these stupid things,
And there's a car coming right there too. I mean, it's listen. Again, I just think we've got to take this word out, not to just the big trucks. We can't do it in big trucks. We saw it earlier, but here's a four-wheeler doing the same thing, passing a no passing zone. And we've just got to make sure people understand that protecting life is a four-wheeler's responsibility. It's the big truck's responsibility. It's all of our responsibility to protect life.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you'll look early into the lane, you'll notice that it is an open lane, there is a passing. So I'm sure the guy got out there and started his maneuver, and only after he had committed it, he's committed, and it's a no passing. But you've got to be aware of what's going on, and it is not okay to continue to pass if you've got the no passing.
Yeah, and again, what we want to make sure we do, if you're driving the big truck, you come across a situation, is just let them in. Let them in. Don't speed it up. Don't say, you moron, what are you passing me for? Let them
no
in.
one wins
Protect
in that situation.
life.
Yeah, no one wins in that situation.
And if most of these have a sign, right, telling me that there's a no passing.
Some of them do. Yeah.
So there you got to also pay attention to the signs. We don't get to see the signs here, but there's probably a sign that says no passing zone ahead. And this car obviously didn't see the sign, or there might not have been one. This one here, again, we'll watch it again, but got to slow down, right? Be prepared at these intersections. But the thing here is really kind of, you don't see anything happening here. But what the problem here is at the very beginning of the video, that's a 55-mile-an-hour sign, and this driver's doing 67, right? Actually, this driver slowed down to the actual speed limit right as they passed this truck. So again, pay attention to the signage, right? These are traffic control devices. And you've got an intersection, it says 55, and there's an intersection warning. All dangerous things. We talk all the time how dangerous intersections are. And this one doesn't have any lights or stop signs, so it's probably even more dangerous. And so you just got to make sure that you're obeying them signs, because 12 miles an hour over the speed limit, that takes you about 4 or 5 reaction time seconds away.
Yeah, and let's talk technology for a second. The technology's out there today, and if you don't know this, that the truck you're driving, or that you're going to be driving the next year and a half, the technology on the cameras will tell everybody what the speed is, and it won't just do it off the GPS. No longer will you be able to use it, well, the GPS was wrong. It's going to read the actual sign and tell, and report back and say, hey, you're driving 70 in a 55, because we know what that speed is in them speed zones. And that goes for construction zones, that goes for stop lights, that goes for stop signs. It will tell the company that you slow rolled a stop sign. Mm-hmm. And and some people are going to go into that and say, my goodness, the Big Brother system is crazy in this trucking industry. And all I got to say is, all it's doing is helping protect the law. It's not doing anything nuts. It's just telling that you ran a red light.
And then here's another one. There is just nothing good about this. This is a decision, right? Speed, 47 and a 30-something, I think, is what I saw the speed limit sign. And we're going to pass in a no passing zone. This is not a passing lane. This is a turn lane for both directions. That's why the yellow lines are there. You're not to pass people. And again, this driver is going to pass another vehicle, and it's just an unsafe decision. There's all kinds of driveways and entrances to businesses here. This is just crazy.
Yeah, we don't know. Again, these videos come in, and we don't know exactly where that comes from. However, I will say this. I would like to think that there's no chance that this driver has ever watched an episode of BCB Live. And if he or she did, maybe they just watched it once and said, this safety thing's not for me.
You know, there's a lot of crazies out there, but, you know, the second thing we want to do is always, the first thing to be defensive is you got to slow down. There is absolutely zero safety reasons that you would want to speed over the speed limit, right? It's just as easy to go a few miles under that and give you them precious seconds that you've heard Sir Rick and Drive Safe Dave talk about all the time. The 1 second that makes the difference, right? You increase that by 2 or 3-fold when you slow down just 5 miles an hour, right? Just go a couple miles under that speed limit versus over. And we're going to see some issues today where that didn't happen and the potential risks that it did cause. The second one is increase of space, right? These are two of the critical things of protecting life. You know, you've got to be that situational awareness, and every situation you're out there, you drivers, you've seen it. These things that we show on these videos, they don't happen just this once that we caught on a video. These happen probably 100,000 times a day in some cases, these instances that we see. So if that's happening out there on the road, then you always have to be managing your speed and your space. It is the best tools you have to protecting life out there.